What is up, everybody? Good evening, and welcome to another live stream on the Geodudez channel. My name is Jason, one half of the Geodudez, and we're doing a little bit of something different this week. And with this week, we are going to talk about Royal Rumble 2018 that just happened last night. I have a couple people helping us out tonight to discuss some of the matches and recap and just have a good time. We have one of the people here right now with us, Mr. Pixel Protocol. Pixel, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got to get some wrestling fans in here, people that kind of follow the business and understand what's going on and keep up with things and aren't like, oh, it's in town, I'll go watch it and not know what the product is. So, did you watch it last night, Pixel?
Yes, I did. It's actually pretty good considering the past few years have been pretty, I don't know, poopy is like a nice word to say it.
Yeah, it was like overall, I thought it was a good, fun show. I think it could have been a lot better, but for what it was, I think it did the job. For at least the setup towards Mania now at this point with some of the rivalries we'll get to see. So we're going to kind of go from the beginning of the show down to the end of it. We'll talk about some highlight points. I just have some notes jotted down, and then feel free to pitch anything you want to talk about, Pixel, while we go through it. We're supposed to have the dude come in any second now, so once he comes in, he can chime in too. We're going to skip the pre-show because nobody watches the pre-show. It's like 2 hours long, and it's nothing good usually. Did you watch pre-show?
The only real match was, I heard it going on in the background because I was typing. But I think it was just really Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode for the U.S. title was like the main one.
Yeah,
they had like a cruiserweight match before or something.
Yeah, it was a cruiserweight, like a 6-man tag match, U.S. title open challenge that Bobby Roode was doing, and then the Revival versus Gallo and Anderson, which Revival went over, which is just stupid.
I actually would have liked to seen that one. I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, I think I didn't see the runtime of it, but it's just stupid booking. You had the Rival get squashed by DX, a bunch of old farts, and then you have him go win. I don't know how
booking for you.
It is. This is WWE booking for you. So yeah, that's the pre-show. That's kind of how that ran down. So the show opened up with AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a 2-on-1 WWE Championship match, which I like that they kind of interpreted was like it wasn't one or the other gets the pin. They're the champions. It's like, no, we're going to be co-champions. So it actually kind of made it legit.
Funny. That would have been like Lay Cool and was it Michelle McCool and Layla, whatever. They're going to do that co-champion best friend thing. That would have been actually hilarious, but I'm glad you didn't call him Cammy. I hate that nickname.
Yeah, Cammy didn't go over like AJ was hoping it would. But yeah, this match I thought was pretty good. For what they could do. Like I liked how Owens, still sold a leg injury from SmackDown. And he just kind of, worked that into play, and that kind of made it a little bit more interesting. And then Sammy not taking the pin, I thought, which I predicted he would take the pin. But they kind of ended it on controversy. Like I feel like every Kevin Owens title match has been, which is getting kind of old.
It always ends like out of nowhere, kind of like that roll up. And then it was nice. It was a quick match. It didn't really overstay its welcome, but it did kind of end like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was really sudden. But I mean, it kind of at least it was a roll up, so it kind of like at least didn't make it too, like AJ Styles didn't like just whoop them in a sense. The whole they didn't technically tag hands or whatever sort of thing kind of came into play. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. I assume they'll do something with Sammy and Kevin and AJ the next pay-per-view. So I'm just gonna really just check on the chat here, see who's all here. Fears is here, of course. Welcome, Fears. Matt Man is here. Aaron Jacarthy, how's it going? I know. How many of you actually watch wrestling on a regular basis? Aaron Jacarthy says he just got BBC News. That does not relate to wrestling. But thanks for letting us know. But yeah, so that was that match. Next up, we had Usos versus Benjamin and Gable, and completely went in direction I did not think was going to happen at all. I thought that Benjamin and Gable were going to win this match, not lose two falls. They've been pushing them
lately, and then all of a sudden it's like they just rip the carpet out from under them each time. Like they gotta get that push.
Yeah, I didn't think that, like, especially that he got swept. I thought it was going to at least, 2-1. But the fact that the Usos beat them 2-0, I was completely shocked and a little let down because I thought, Usos have done really well. I get it. They're really good in the tag division, but I think it's time to pass it down to somebody else now.
Yeah, somebody fresh.
Yeah, or I call them American Alpha Part Two. Yeah, so that nothing really too much. I mean, I think it could have been a lot better. I think they only got like 15 minutes. I saw.
It seemed like a
Um,
Raw match, I guess. Really, like something you'd see on TV.
yeah, it just kind of flew by. It could have been a lot better. I think if they should have given him at least like 20 minutes, but I think they only got like maybe 15. So it's kind of a letdown a little bit. But for other than that, I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. So after that, which completely surprised me, was the men's rumble match, the third match of the night.
Yeah, it's usually like the main event, so it really surprised me they had that like right there, almost in the middle of the card, really, like smack
Yeah,
dab
I
in the middle.
mean, it made sense for how the show ended, even though I still didn't think that's how it should have ended because it completely, I think this match being in the middle killed the crowd. Like, I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, and they still could have done what they did with the women's match, which I won't say now because we'll say later, obviously, but they still could have done it the reverse way and had the winner of this rumble in the show and everybody still be happy and still have the surprise happen now.
Hmm.
Everything still would have been just as good.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I like you could tell the match after, which was the men's Raw tag titles. The crowd did not care. They were literally not responsive, and it's
And they
kind
pretty
of
much blew their
unfortunate.
load with the win on the rumble because everybody was so happy on that, and it was like screw everything else. I mean, it's just a ride now.
Yeah. So usually the Rumble's got a tendency for debuts or returns or nostalgic returns in a sense. This one actually only had four. I counted. You had two NXT guys, and
What's Adam
Adam
Cole
Cole.
and Almas, right?
Yeah, Cien Almas, Andrade Cien Almas, which both those guys I thought was. I mean, I love them, but I think it was dumb to put them in this match because they both look hurt. They are, they just wrestled the night before, and they're not going to win.
Yeah, Adam
Like,
still was selling the whole rib thing, and
yeah, like Ty
I
Dillinger
really
made
figured they
sense
would have
last year.
had Cassius Ono because they put him over on the YouTube saying how smart he was. They had this whole video on him, like how much he loves wrestling, how smart he is, and then he lost on NXT, in a good match. So I figured maybe he would just appear in the Rumble as like a one-time thing, then back to NXT,
Yeah, I
and
would
then
have. I know actually like that better because then you could have maybe had something with him and Cesaro, kind of like a little cross
yeah,
pass thing.
Kings of Wrestling thing, yeah.
Yep, I thought that would have been great. What's up, Yakov? So yeah, that was two NXT guys, which I think they're very talented, but I didn't think they were necessary to be called up. You had two nostalgic acts, Rey Mysterio and the Hurricane, which I thought those were both
I
clever. I
love the
thought.
Hurricane spot where he goes to chokeslam Cena. Cena just no sells and picks him up and just throws him right out.
What's funny because when you started running down, I first thing I brought up was Royal Rumble 2002 with him and Triple H and Austin.
Oh yeah.
I remember that moment. He like went in the ring. They were both knocked down, and he came in and just like tried to double choke slam them, and they just stared at him like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And they grabbed him, threw him over. But yeah, and then Rey Mysterio looked fantastic. I thought.
I know for the Indies he did like get his shape back, but when he was in WWE last, he still wore that top to kind of cover his chest and
Yeah,
everything. And
chubby.
yeah, like now he looked just like he used to. I mean,
It was a little
maybe
messed
even
up.
smaller.
Yeah. Well, it was a little messed up when he dropped Miz. I was like, "Be careful, Miz. He killed a guy with that move once."
Oh god.
So, but yeah, he looked in really, really great shape. And then I guess if you want to technically call five returns, Ziggler came back. He was
Yeah,
kind
because
of
it was
written off
rumored he
TV.
was gone, and then I read a rumor he was gonna like win the thing, like as a shock, like win. When he
Hmm.
came out there at 30, I really thought, well, damn, maybe there's something to that. And then that didn't last long, really.
Yeah, and I thought I was trying to think at that point, number 30, like, okay, who's this gonna be? We were trying to think of people. I could tell they weren't gonna have Taker come in, and I couldn't really think of anybody else to predict. And then I was like, oh, Ziggler, this makes sense. But yeah, I thought they would kind of continue the him and Bobby Roode feud over the U.S. title, but I don't know if they're gonna just pick that up on Tuesday or if they're just completely ignoring it to begin with. But
A lot of filler entrants too. I noticed, like even later on, like Titus O'Neil was in the 20s, and like just
yeah,
a
they
bunch
kind
of
of were trying to
random
bring the
like just
crowd
thrown out
for the
there.
pops down. Yeah.
But when they said that whoever wins gets to challenge whichever champion they want, like the old brand split,
Hmm.
I kind of figured, well, maybe Reigns doesn't have to win this one because,
Yeah.
like,
That would have killed. Once it got to the last two, Nakamura and Reigns, I was like, "Oh crap! This is one. This is just like the top two betting odds guys
I mean,
here."
even with the last four when they had Finn, Nakamura, Reigns, and Cena, like the crowd was. It's kind of like WWE showing you got your two internet favorites, and you
Hmm.
got like his two favorites.
Yeah,
And when they started beating up on both Finn and Nakamura, the crowd just like crapped all over and saying, "You both suck."
yeah, I
Chants
love
like
that.
rang through the building.
Well, like it's funny because Balor came out number two, and my buddy's a huge Finn Balor fan, and he was just like, "Oh, what did you?" I'm like, "Dude, he's gonna be. I guarantee he'll be top four." He's like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, usually like those number one through four guys. One of those
It's
guys
like the whole
usually
Iron Man
last."
deal where it's like you last around an hour and get that
Yeah.
big like performance out of it.
hmm Usually try to keep one of those guys that can work well in the ring and can work a long match, like physically. That I thought they were he's probably the best option for that. One of the moments I thought was the funny was the Sheamus and Heath Slater moment. Uh, Basically, Heath Slater came out and he kept getting knocked out on the way down the ring. Every guy coming out kept punching him or knocking him down, and
Just keep getting
finally,
steamrolled.
yeah. And so Sheamus comes out and sees him kind of starting to get up. So Sheamus goes over to Slater and is like, "All right, I'll help you out." And he throws him back, throws him in the ring. And as soon as Sheamus goes in, Slater immediately clotheslines him out of the ring. And now Slater's selling this whole, "I have the record for the quickest elimination." He's like, "I timed it in my head." He's like, "I did in point." He's like, "I went one miss it, and then I hit him out of the ring."
I also liked how when he was out, selling when everybody kept hitting him coming in, like Elias was playing guitar coming in, just kicked him while he was
Yeah.
down. I think Big E put a damn pancake in his mouth or something
Yeah.
crazy. Like it just
Yeah.
kept getting everybody to come out.
Yeah, he's just like that little bitch boy. He's like, what, 5 years ago, the whole Raw 1000, every week he's getting beaten up by some old fart, and now he's getting
Yeah, then
beat
you
up
got
on
that
the
huge push when SmackDown came back with Rhino and like he was
Mhm.
winning and they had the tag belts and now just like back to being like the comedy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean he's kind of just doing his thing. But hey, if you're a WWE roster, I guess you can't complain.
I mean, having that job, I mean, I'm sure he's glad to have it.
Yeah. So and then yeah, and so fast forward near the end, Nakamura hits a Kinshasa on Reigns and just dumps him over the rope. I mean, it wasn't very dramatic, but I was like, oh, that's it.
They actually did pretty good too, being the final two, because like I like the spot where they were going back and forth, and then I think he went to hit the Kinshasa earlier and like missed, like Reigns ducked it, and then hit him with a spear off the ropes. They did a nice
Mhm.
little back and forth there right before the end. I didn't think Reigns would really hang in there that much with Nakamura.
Yeah, I noticed both Rumble matches, they kind of gave the last two competitors like at least like 5 minutes almost of actually having a
Like a
match.
mini match, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really good. And that's kind of a good way to kind of turn it interesting and not just, oh, four guys hanging over the rope and then one guy dumps all three of them or something, to that nature. But yeah, for the most part, usually the Rumble's built around nostalgia returns and didn't really have that many, but I guess it wasn't that big a deal because you have such a big roster now. There's a lot more guys I feel like you can call in the ring or call into the Rumble. But I guess like if you think about the Rumbles, 15 years ago, the roster capacity, they didn't have these returns or debuts
Yeah,
because
like
they just
random stuff like Drew Carey, like just all this
yeah,
randomness.
that was considered like a specialty. You're like, holy crap, Drew Carey's in the Royal Rumble, or that was the one year it really annoyed me, but they had the entire announcer booth go in at one point or one
Oh yeah,
each.
Michael Cole. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Cole, Booker T, I think King went in too. I'm like, oh come on now. I think that was the year that was like 40 though, so I guess they probably had to fill some spots.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
glad Nakamura won, but part of me wishes Reigns would have won just to hear the reaction. They would have went crazy in Philly.
God, yeah. Well, they like, they just don't get it. But obviously, Vince has his plan. Brock versus Reigns is going to be the match at Mania. So it's like, it's just going to happen. We got to suck it up and get
You
it
just gotta
over with.
just suffer through it.
Yep. Just swallow it and then hope maybe Reigns actually does a heel turn for once. Probably won't happen though. But then yeah, so at the end, like you were saying, they AJ Styles or sorry, not AJ Styles, Nakamura got to pick, who he wants to face at the end of the match, and he was simply just says AJ Styles. I like how he took his
AJ
mouth guard out too.
Styles.
Hey, Jay. Like, please take your mouth guard out. You cannot understand you enough as is, and with the mouthpiece in, you're just lisp.
That's gonna be a good match though. It's like the Wrestle Kingdom rematch from what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That'll be a good one to see.
Yeah, it'll be hopefully they give them time and they book Nakamura right. Don't have him lose like TV matches, make him special. Like Brock Lesnar, he's that good. Oh, he's better than Brock Lesnar. He can actually wrestle, but like treat him like a specialty act.
Didn't he actually, like, weird small fact, but didn't he beat Brock Lesnar in Japan, like when Brock first went to Japan for that
Yes.
IWGP belt, I think?
Yeah, 2006, because Brock left for the football, it failed, and WWE was like, "Screw you," or they were fighting back and forth because Brock, I think, wanted to go to New Japan, but they didn't want to let him go, so Brock went anyways. Yeah, and him and Nakamura had a match out there, so that'll be pretty interesting. I think Nakamura and AJ like on WWE show. Excuse me. So yeah, after that match, it killed the crowd. The Bar versus Rollins and Jordan, and they just no response for any entrances, no
Well, that
responses
in the
during any of
match
the
was
high
kind of
spots in the
like
match.
it was like it anyway because I mean Jordan stayed out of the ring. I think they say he's legit injured. Someone said
Oh
so.
really?
They kind of just had him outside the ring, like story wise, to kind of make Rollins be, I guess, handicapped in a way, 2-on-1. I
Yeah.
think Jordan's obviously going to do like a heel turn soon because they kind of play him as like the annoying character, the whole daddy's boy thing with Kurt Angle, and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like getting booed on every time he talks now. So I think they kind of know they're gonna have to turn him heel eventually.
Yeah, he's obviously, I mean, he does great at what the role he's got right now, kind of just like obnoxious, snobby, daddy's boy in a sense. But yeah, Rollins, you can only have so many matches between him and Cesaro and Sheamus. So like, because if you go back, that technically they've
They
been
got as many
feuding
matches
since.
as Fierce has interviews with Sega Camp.
Yeah, they might be on the same level amount because they've been feuding since I think like July last year, July or August, and it's just I'm getting over it. So I'm hoping now, okay, Rollins, maybe he can move towards maybe the IC title against Miz or
Well, see,
something.
tonight they're having like just as we speak, they're having some kind of match on Raw now where Reigns is fighting Miz for the belt again,
No,
the
really.
IC belt. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I was
Is it
hoping though,
a
if Ambrose hadn't got injured, it was rumored that Ambrose was going to turn heel on Rollins eventually, which could have been
mhm.
last night. We don't know, I guess, how they would have played it out,
That's
but
true.
that would have been nice to see more than this Jordan thing.
Yeah, is the do you know of the Raw or no Reigns, the Reigns and Miz match? Is it because I know they're doing elimination chamber qualifying matches?
They were saying it was just for the Intercontinental title. From what I seen, I know
Okay.
Braun he qualified for it tonight. He flipped. You know, they got that stage area with the announcer's table on it beside the
Hmm.
ramp. Braun lifted the whole damn like stage and just kind of topped it over on Kane, just writing him off TV pretty much. And he,
I'm waiting for him to
qualified.
like, I'm waiting for him to like they're gonna have a spot where he's just in the middle of the ring and just like Ryu punches Street Fighter style him through the roof or something into the ceiling.
Or like
Just
try to topple the whole damn arena over or something.
yeah, like how many more like Superman, Uber, like Superman, the super strength spots can you have with Braun? I mean, they're great and entertaining, but they're getting ridiculous. He's pulling out grappling hooks out of trunks like he's Batman or
To
something.
top it, now he's got to go to like Brock's house and just flip Brock's house over, like just pick it up, just lay it over on its side.
Now he's gonna go over and bang Sable so hard that she's gonna have
I'm
a
not
child
finished
when
with
she's
you.
45 years old. But yeah, so yeah, that match, the Bar won, which I predicted, because obviously they're gonna go Jordan turn heel soon, and Rollins can go do his own thing, and yeah, the match just was bleh. After that, so we had Brock, Strowman, and Kane in a triple threat match. I didn't think this match was bad. It was what it was, what I thought it
That's
was
what we
going to be.
expected. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody expected Brock to win. Everybody thought it wasn't going to be like a whole lot to it.
Yeah, I thought it was just, you got these three beasts. First thing I thought was they're just going to do all these monstrous moves and just, beat each other up, pull weapons out, and just, whatever they can do to each other. And I kind of like that you just started making weapons involved because at least it just made it more like show that they can take all these attack hits and not just
Well, speaking
punches
of
and
taking hits,
kicks.
did you see where Braun gave Brock like a stiff like knee to the head, like rocking his head, and then Brock
Oh
immediately
yeah.
punched Braun in the side of the head like right after. I
Yeah, I
guess like
heard
a receipt.
that was a shot. Like, hey, fucker, you hit me. That hurt.
They both hit each other pretty good there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally fine with, obviously Brock was gonna win and then Braun didn't take the pin, which is
In the
good.
way they did it, they just knocked Braun off the ring. So like he kind of stumbled outside, then Brock did the quick F5 to Kane on the chair, ended it real quick out of the ring, and then Braun was up, yelling, "You didn't beat me" or whatever. So they kind of
Oh,
wrote it where he still looks strong.
I was like, didn't he beat you like in No
Like three
Mercy?
months ago, I think. Yeah,
Whatever pay-per-view it was. And I was like, you already got beat by him, man. Like, which that match sucked too, which is
we
unfortunate.
just said like it didn't happen anyway.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, that did the job. You know, Brock goes out on top still,
I'm
and
hoping it leads to Braun doing something in the chamber and then putting himself in that match with Reigns
oh
and Brock
god,
anyway. That'd be great.
he's gonna pull like he's gonna pick up the chamber, just like throw it across at somebody, something ridiculous. I don't know what I was gonna
Probably
do.
rip someone's pod open, that pod door shit where they like
Yeah.
have the doors that open up, just probably break through it.
Well, I wonder if they're gonna use the same chamber as last year, because last year was the like the new design one.
I think
Uh,
so, because I think that steel ones are kind of done on the side. I
yeah,
heard it kind of sucks to take bumps on, so I'm sure the new one's like much preferred now.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot taller, like because it was here. I was at that show. Um, the fuck crowd was great, especially because when Wyatt won the title and the crowd just erupted, and that didn't last long. But it looked like it was a lot better, and yeah, it's safer for those guys to work in and not hurt themselves as easily. But yeah, so after this, all we had left was the women's rumble match, and I did my count. I looked it up. There were 17 surprises technically,
See, we thought all the
or sorry,
nostalgic ones
13.
would be in the males rumble, like all the
Yeah,
nostalgic ones were in the women's rumble, pretty much.
yeah. Well, it's like I guess because they, you did the count. I mean, when I thought about it, all I think the current women wrestlers wrestled, other than the champions and whoever's not injured. Alicia Fox is the only one I think I noticed, but I didn't care because she botches everything. But she was the only one I think that's active that wasn't in the match, unless she's hurt, and I don't know that. But she wasn't really missed. But yeah, you had two NXT call ups. You had Kyrie Sane, who I don't
She did
get.
amazing though. I mean, it's something about her character. I guess the whole pirate thing is just something different. You know, she's cute, obviously, and that elbow
Yeah.
drop is just freaking like crazy looking. The way she gets that hang time on it, it's like unorthodox looking kind of way too. The way she comes down with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know they guess they were not going to let her use it at first because Bailey was using it, and they finally were like, okay, this girl's going to stick around, so we'll let her make it her finisher. And yeah, she's talented in the ring. I don't know her character. Yeah, and she's like doing the whole stomp thing. Like, I'm like, this must be a Japan thing. I just can't, because even like uh, uh Asuka kind of does stuff, and then Shinsuke kind of
Asuka's like very mocking, and so is Shinsuke in a way. Like all this mocky kind of like
yeah.
attitude.
Yeah, it's a Japanese thing, I guess, which I guess I have, but I prefer Shayna Baszler out of the two girls at the finals of the May Classic. So that's just me.
I figured she would have been in there somewhere after the Ember Moon match. I mean, that match was pretty good on NXT Takeover.
Yeah, and speaking of Ember Moon, she was the other NXT. Again, somebody that's injured. You just had a match last
It's like
night.
the Adam Cole thing, yeah, all injured and come out there hobbling around.
I mean, granted, I know they're not really hurt; they're just working it, but it's just not realistic. And you're the NXT Women's Champion. Nobody, always knows you're going to win this match. It's not the Page moment's never going to happen again. So, and then so retro list, we had Lita, who she looked good. I think she moved around really well. Yeah. Vicky Guerrero. I'm just going down the list of people I wrote. Vicky Guerrero. I was like, my ears
screamed at him basically. Then they threw her out.
Yeah. She wasn't much. I think I looked at it. She lasted 56 seconds or something like that. Tori Wilson, who looked really good as well. I mean, that girl,
she
I think
didn't age much at all. It looked like her or Kelly
backwards. Yeah, Kelly too. Molly Holly looked really good. Jackie, Beth Phoenix, Michelle McCool, and the Bella Twins, and Trish Stratus. So
I know Beth was still jacked too. I mean, she looked pretty much the same as well.
Yeah, I was hoping for Karma, and then her and Nia Jax.
Yeah, you have like a stare down. That's what I was talking with Abba Zaba and a few other people about how they've been a cool moment of them having like a stare down or like a test of strength or something, or like throw out different girls, like showing like who's more of a monster or something.
Yeah, I know. I guess she was on that show Glow on Netflix. I think she lost like a ton of weight. What's up?
I still haven't seen that. I heard it's good though.
Yeah, especially wrestling fans. Actually, it's a pretty good show. And she's like a bunch of like former WWE people are in it, like John Morrison, Alex Riley. But Karma, I guess, is in it. I think she said she lost like a ton of weight in it. So, but yeah, I was hoping to see her debut. One thing I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but like, did you notice that they like have a lot of moments where all the girls just rolled out of the ring?
Kind of like give space in the middle, or do you mean like for like a dead air type thing?
Well, because there'd be like a moment I'm like, well, wait, Becky Lynch is still in this, Sasha Banks is still in this, so and so still in this, and there's only 2 people in the ring. I'm like, where'd they all go? And they're all like laying on the floor,
They
and I'm
got their
just like,
wrestling in. I know they did that too for the one spot with was it Naomi got thrown out of the ring? Like they all called her. Like they had pretty
yeah.
much all the women outside the ring just to catch her.
I guess maybe it's preparation for that spot, but I feel like there was moments where I noticed I'm like, where are all these
Now they definitely
wrestlers
did it
at?
more than once because I know Natalia got in and out of the ring a few times.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks did it the most, I think.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
sliding in
Like
and out of
if they were
there.
trying to be safe or if they were just, I don't know why they had the women kind of just hanging on the floor every time. But for the most part, most of the spots were pretty good. I was a little worried because like I don't know if you've seen the Raws or SmackDowns built up, but they were having difficulties like throwing each
Like getting
other
over the
over the
ropes,
top
yeah.
because
But
they're
some of
so
them still
short.
did. Like I know Kelly had issues. She ain't been wrestling anyway, so I mean she kind of has an excuse. But she kind of got hung up on the ropes too at one point.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, most of them went over pretty clean, or they kind of worked ways to make it
Like
safe
whip
and
them
not like
over.
throw them. Like, yeah, the men would just literally just throw them in one motion. They would bring the girl over, or, pick them up that way. So, but yeah, and then so it was down to Nikki and Asuka, which you could kind of tell from there. Like, well, we all know how this is gonna go. Which Asuka won, which is the right choice. Like,
Yeah, I would
the
say
girl,
so for the women that they had there. Although I was kind of worried for a second because we had the Bella twins together. You know, they were working
yeah,
together there for a little while, and then Nikki just turned on the other one like she did before.
yeah, I
Knocked her out
did.
of the ring.
Yeah, the whole, and it kind of made sense. Nikki was always the like heelish of the twins, so
Yeah, ain't it the one that said, "I wish you'd never been born" or something? Or was that
yeah,
the other way around?
I think it was always Nikki because they've always said she's like the stuck up, like goody two shoe. You mean? But yeah. So, did you listen to like Stephanie doing announcing much in this match?
So yeah, and see, speaking of the whole announcer thing you're talking about, in my head, the whole booking about the Ronda Rousey thing, maybe she would show up in a Rumble. I thought number 26 or 27 would hit. Her music would play, and she would just like get in the ring, like Michael Cole style, like kind of be
Stephanie.
like a, yeah, like be a like a bitch heel and put herself in it,
Mm-hmm.
try to get some like spotlight or something. And then I thought Rousey was going to come out like maybe 28 or 29, clean house a little bit and throw her out, but that didn't happen.
That's what I did. Actually, I predicted. I was like, oh, maybe like there are 3 or 4 girls left, and then maybe they are like all they hanging on over the ropes and they actually eliminate themselves, or like Stephanie kind of comes and just dumps them over.
Yeah, like tries to make herself look good after all these women worked hard all these years. They've been a good heel moment.
Yeah, like she throws them and clears the ring in a sense, and then she kind of just like, yeah, it's me, and then the next person comes out is Ronda Rousey, and then she just looks terrified, maybe eliminates herself, and
Yeah.
yeah, that
And
probably would have been a
Asuka could
good
have
spot.
still been eliminated technically and would still been undefeated because it's the Rumble.
Yeah,
So I mean, it wouldn't have been like a loss for her either. They could have done it either way, but I'm happy with the way Asuka won anyway. So 'cause I'm a fan of hers.
yeah, I think this way it worked the best, because kind of everybody thought like I don't know if you could hear like the crowd at number 30, they're chanting Ronda Rousey, and like so
When
you're like
Trish's
thinking,
music hit, it was a mixture of like cheers and boos. It was
yeah.
like more cheers though than boo, but you could still hear it a little bit in the crowd. Like they're like, "Well, damn!"
Yeah, well, I think they timed it right because they knew people wouldn't boo Trish, so they thought, okay, well, let's put her number 30. People are gonna think
Like Rey
that's Ronda.
Mysterio was a few years ago.
Oh God, Daniel Bryan, that feels so bad for Mysterio on that one.
He just got shit on for no reason.
Yeah, so they kind of just need to like they worked out the timing the best, and then so yeah, Asuka wins. She gets a challenge, obviously, whichever title, and she's kind of just staring him down. I thought that was how it's gonna end, them holding the titles above them. And that's when the music hits. And I immediately, when I heard it was Joan Jett's Bad Reputation, I was like, oh, that's the music she comes out to, UFC. And sure
See, I didn't
enough,
even pick that up because I hadn't really watched. Only time I've watched her when it's like already mid fight. Like I never really watched her entrances there,
okay.
so I didn't get it right away. But as soon as you see the Roddy Piper looking graphics, obviously, I mean,
Well, they they literally botched this entrance like the AJ Styles debut. I thought like they were showing their reactions and not the stage. So the crowd's cheering. You're like, well, what's going on? And then you could see from a wide shot, like
they
I
kind of
always could see.
show like the SCY a little bit from
Mhm.
like the stage, and they go back to the fans. So you kind of already kind of see the Rousey part, but she didn't come out there. I think for like 10 seconds or something. And they kept lingering on Asuka and them.
Yeah. Well, I think they were kind of like, is it true? Is it true? Because you can see like in the background, um, Stephanie was kind of like staring like shocked, even though it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, your husband's the one that probably signed her. You wouldn't know this is happening. but it's WWE, so I guess you can't play off everything.
I mean, they always try to deny it anyway. I know for months these talks have been going on, and then Triple H said, well, he hasn't been talking to her, and then they had that dinner date like 2 weeks ago. It was all very obvious, and then TMZ got her like the day before the Rumble, or maybe it was Friday, and they asked her if she was going to be there, and she's going to like South America somewhere. I think it was Colombia somewhere to film a movie, which she is going to film a movie eventually,
Yeah,
but not this
Columbia,
weekend.
which I think the movie, well, I think it's in the middle of production. I think they were just doing shoots there. And she, sorry, I'm trying to send this. She, it's obviously when she's going to another country, you're, I think, less likely to be spotted. So she
Yeah,
probably took a private plane. If she did fly out, who knows if she actually even flew anywhere? She could just went on a plane and went in a circle and left or come back.
yeah, just throw everybody off. And she's kind of an awkward person anyway, so you could tell like she looked kind of shifty even in the TMZ thing. Like she was kind of smiling a lot, like she does, and kind of like he hawing around, just kind of dipping hips around. She wouldn't even make eye contact with the guy really. So I think she was trying not to lie and trying not to laugh at the guy maybe.
Yeah.
Well, she was
the
still awkward
dude.
at the Rumble too.
Hell yeah. I'm in the
Hell
car.
yeah. The motherfucking
LA Rush.
blueberry. Was that?
What are we talking about, fellas?
Right now
we're
we're at the
on the
part where
women's
Rousey
rumble.
was coming out. Yeah.
Oh, who?
Great.
Is it Fears related?
What, the women's rumble?
Yeah.
I don't think he was not in the women's rumble, no.
He could have been.
I was expecting James Ellsworth to be in it because he likes to ruin.
I thought maybe Santina would have came out halfway through and like had all the women beat up on him.
Santina.
Yeah.
So the dude, did you see the match?
I did.
Or the show?
It was pretty good. The women's rumble we're talking about?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I thought that they took too many, they were having the women like roll outside the ring too much and like
That's what Jason was saying.
Yeah, just like rest on the outside. I think they did that way too much. But it was pretty good. Kind of knew that Asuka was going to win the whole time, but I'm glad they did that rather than have Nikki Bella win.
Oh god.
That'd been like the female Reigns, I guess, reaction.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I wish that people like I wish like Michelle McCool wouldn't have gotten as many eliminations as she got. She cleared house.
She had the most. I looked it up. She had 5, I believe.
Yeah, a few of the nostalgic ones had a lot of toss outs.
Yeah.
Who did?
A lot of them, the nostalgic entrants had a lot of thrown outs.
Well, that's one thing I noticed that this one had a lot more nostalgic. That's like over almost half the thing was nostalgic acts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that since there's not a lot of women on the main roster anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been hard to fill it up. It was less surprising because everyone was at Raw the week before. So that kind of took away from the shock of seeing like Trish and Tori and them,
yeah.
By the way, Trish and Tori are hotter now than they were back in the day.
I was saying that Tori aged backwards.
Yeah, unbelievable, unreal.
And Trish is doing that yoga stuff.
It was cool seeing
Canada.
Trish and Mickie James
That was a cool spot.
Oh, it's working. That's for sure. It was cool seeing Trish and Mickie James face up against each other again. Mm-hmm. I wish that they would have made reference to the thing that Mickie James did at the WrestleMania.
It almost like they did for a second because she hit up 7 fingers like a 7-time champion, but she did it with like a V in the other hand, so it kind of looked kind of awkward.
Oh, did she? I didn't catch that.
But she didn't lick it or anything.
Well, she did lick her hand when she chopped the one of the Bellas. I noticed.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I was like, dang.
Oh, that's
all right.
fun. I didn't catch that. Yeah, it was good though. It was a good match. I'm not really excited for the Rousey stuff. But I mean, it's cool. It'll bring in a lot of money, so that's good.
But she needs to learn how to mean mug, stay like a badass and don't laugh, cry, be mean and serious, and then laugh and cry again. I mean, you need to like be one way.
Well, she's coming out smiling and stuff. I'm getting like, okay, maybe she's in the moment for this, and then from now on, she'll be kind of a badass and like be staring chicks down. Because you're Ronda Rousey. I mean, yeah, you had some bad losses, but
yeah, I thought all
you were this badass for years.
Yeah, I thought all the pointing was kind of cringy.
Yeah,
You could tell she was like posing for pictures because like she did it twice, and one time she swiveled her hips was pointing, like she kept trying to make these like I guess poses for Raw essentially, which they used a lot tonight. They actually cut out her crying and like smiling a lot. They actually edited it to make her look a little more serious. I mean, you could tell even in the video afterwards she was crying and like they did an interview with her at the ramp like right after they were shutting the show down, and she was like almost in tears, like happy to be there, but she needs to like cut on this badass character and just stay that way.
Yeah, well, it was a moment, which I kind of made sense.
The whole time she was in the ring was just like, you know, you could tell it was just a total, you know, they're doing everything for the photo opportunity. It was like at what was it, WrestleMania 20 with Donald Trump when he knocked Vince over, and then you know, the celebrities always hold the pose to get the photograph for so long.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look natural, and that's what I felt like
Well, yeah, because it was on ESPN immediately. Breaking news: Ronda Rousey signs with WWE, and it's that pose of her looking up.
Yeah, right.
But then she like stares down the girls. Asuka slaps her hand away, like wouldn't shake her hand.
She
goes out and shakes Stephanie's hand, and like then she's all happy again, and like pretty much almost skipping, like happy. And then she mean mugs again and points at the sign at the ramp. You know, it's like there's like very bipolar.
You know,
I didn't get it.
Little off topic. You know who I really fucking like though is that mean bitch in NXT that's kind of like a UFC.
The Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, she's
her fucking this thing she does when the arm is like backwards and she stomps it looks vicious.
It's brutal.
I don't know how you do that. You don't break their arm.
She is awesome. She is
her
what
and Ember had a great match.
Should be.
Yeah, I haven't watched NXT yet, but she should have been champion. I would have put money on her winning it last night because I thought she'd be like the Brock Lesnar of NXT.
And she dominated that match pretty much. Yeah, I mean she kept her in that like lock the whole time, like working that arm, which Ember does great selling it. Like it ain't really her fault, I guess, but
they
really should have took a step with her.
That was a great show.
Yeah, NXT like just fantastic. There's been
almost
two shows
always
here.
the better show of the weekend every time, almost every time.
Yeah, they kill it.
Like I love Velveteen Dream versus Cassius Ohno. Like that was just an awesome match too.
I love Velveteen Dream.
He's great.
He's like basically WWE's version of Prince. Like he's very ambiguous and like a little strange, but he's very cocky, like Rick Rude in a way.
I was just gonna say, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I said he's kind of like a Prince mixed with Rick Rude. That's what I said.
And I like how his tights had a Dream over on it. Like I remember saying he's over. And he had the girl after the show that interviewed him. He says, "Read my tights." She goes, "Dream over." He goes, "Yeah, now you know." Like everybody else or something like that. It was very like cocky.
How about in the Women's Rumble when Stephanie screamed, "Asuka's going over"?
Yeah.
I thought that was...
It's actually almost like they had a mixed match challenge, you know, where the men and the women team up. They had it on Facebook Live or whatever. It was like last week or something. And the Miz and Asuka were fighting somebody, and the referee tells Miz Asuka's going over, like, and they're mic'd up. So like the whole crowd pretty much hears it. He's like, "Yeah, now everybody's heard it."
Yeah, it's funny because the Velveteen Dream thing, they had NXT or November last year, and it was the main event was Velveteen Dream and Andre Cien versus McIntyre and Aleister Black. And there was a guy in the crowd that looked just like Velveteen Dream, had dressed up and everything. And Velveteen Dream like climbs on the closest corner turnbuckle to the crowd. And everybody starts screaming, like, and pointing at the guy, like, "Hey, look, this guy looks really..." And he's doing the pose back at Velveteen. And Velveteen kind of, like, takes his glasses off, makes eye contact, and, like, acknowledges him and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, stuff like that. It's, like, so cool. And it's, like, that they actually will acknowledge, like Velveteen Dream's fantastic. Him and Black at the last TakeOver is fantastic from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
And even Black and Cole was amazing, too. That chair spot with the double spine, like, where they had it kind of set back to back.
Brutal.
Oh, I heard about that, yeah.
Let me get back in this call in a couple minutes. I'm gonna get on my computer rather than on my
Okay.
phone.
We'll be here. Okay, we're gonna end it now. Good night, folks.
Full of fears.
Comes back. He's like, "Why is it not working?"
What the hell?
Um,
But yeah, that match was great. I mean, all the spots he did in that match, and like I said, Cole was still selling his ribs, like we mentioned in the Rumble. But that chair spot could easily just mess you up. I mean, you could take one wrong turn on it, and just mess
yeah,
you
I
back
heard
all the way
on
up.
the podcast. Let's see, they were doing a review about it, and they said they were just like, "That was the most cringiest." Like you see those moments in some matches where you're just like, "Oh my god!" Like you're actually
There's
going to
chair
get hurt.
shots to the head, like unprotected, like back in the day with The Rock and Mankind. Got kind of like pain cringe. You're like, oh shit! Like, why do they do that?
Yeah, and you see that moment, you're like, "Oh my god, that doesn't work. That doesn't. Your body doesn't go on a chair like that."
Like JR always said, your body doesn't bend that way.
Yeah. So yeah, most of NXT is really good for now, but I feel like I'm starting to worry because McIntyre is gonna be called up, Black will be
Ember
called up
Moon,
probably
surely,
next year.
eventually.
Yeah. So it's like, who do you go? You guys start creating more guys or signings. I mean,
I kind
Ricochet.
of wish they would leave it alone, like make it be its own thing and just grow NXT bigger and have like a third show, but just for the network or something, or like tours or some shit. Because
Yeah,
the more they take away, it kind of damages them each time. When they took Nakamura, it kind of threw him for a loop for a little bit, and then they took Finn Balor before him, or maybe it was after him. Like it always throws them for a loop each time because now they got to scramble to get like a new like face out there.
Well, so I don't follow like NXT like airings, but I believe it's only like every other week or something. It's not like.
And sometimes they tape them like TNA style, where they'll tape one or two, and you gotta be careful not to actually like read about it, and like they'll air them like every other week or something like that, I think.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of good because it doesn't water it down, but they still tour, and have shows.
And they tour like small venues too, which is even cooler because it's like going to like a small bar and seeing a band or something.
Yeah,
Because those small venues, you're like right there at the ring. You get to meet everybody. They'll
yeah.
get to
The
come
two
out,
shows
kind of
were
spend
here.
more time with people.
It's like a concert arena, but it's like like a club venue. So it's only maybe you would have like 5,000 people, but with a wrestling show, your ring is taking up space, so it's maybe like 22 to 2,500 people. So it's like it felt like an indie show, which is great. But now the NXT, so I don't know if you heard the announcement of the Rumble, but it's going to be in Arizona next year, which I'm like, great. It's like 4 potential shows I might want to go to, but I'm definitely going to go to the Rumble. NXT be a second choice.
I do want to go to an NXT show. Last WWE event I ever even went to had to be like, I don't know, 2008 or something. 2009
wow.
was like a house show or something. So I mean, it's been a while.
Does it not come out where you're at very often? Or?
Not often. Like Greensboro, North Carolina used to be big for wrestling. I mean, they had like 3 pay-per-views in 3 years. They had Unforgiven 98, King of the Ring 99, which I went to Unforgiven, but not King of the Ring. And in 2001, I guess they skipped 2000. They had that big invasion angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they haven't really come back much since. They had a pay-per-view in Raleigh, like back when Daniel Bryan was still there. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that's because North Carolina is a very big like wrestling town, or like
like Vince actually has it where no one else can run in Greensboro. TNA can't, like nobody else can.
Yeah, it's like territory or all the stuff. Because my buddy lived in Raleigh, I think, for 2 years or something, and they had a lot of big like the wrestling conventions there that we don't get over here in Arizona.
They still have those here. I think it's like WrestleCade now, like a new one. They have like 20 or 30 people every year. Last year they had like the whole clique was there, minus Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels might have been there, but I don't think so. But they always have like a bunch of big people there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one that my friend went to, he got to like chauffeur wrestlers to the airport or pick them up at the airport, bring them to the show. Because they were short on, I guess, drivers for them or something like that. So they actually made an announcement like, hey, does anybody want to volunteer to be like a driver and stuff? So he actually like Ron Simmons, I forgot who else, but he had some of these wrestlers that he drove to the airport or picked them up. And I was like, what? So you got like a half an hour car ride to hang out with them? Like, that's awesome. But yeah, because last show, NXT was just here in November. Before that, I was here, I think, in like March, and then we had Elimination Chamber, and I love going to pay-per-views, but I'll never go to a Raw or SmackDown probably ever again. That was boring.
I like house shows better than like Raw or SmackDown TV. The only time I liked SmackDown good was I had like a second row seat behind the entrance stairs while Undertaker goes up and raises his hands. That was like the best seats I had for like a TV taping. But usually the house shows are better. They're more fun. They interact more. The matches are better.
More wrestling. Like I
Yeah.
don't want 3 hours with 2 hours of talking and commercials and 1 hour of actual wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
When was the last time you saw a live wrestling show?
I went to Raw. Or no, I just went to SmackDown in Chicago the day after Christmas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was actually one of the times me and my buddy were talking about because of how crazy the Philly crowd was last night, and I was like, I want to go to one of those cities like New York, Chicago, or Philly. Like those crowds just look insane.
I love to go to one like the day after WrestleMania. They're always like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was at and the craziest show I was at, I went to Raw in Chicago. It was the Hijack Raw show. It was the week before all those people came in the ring with Daniel Bryan. Do you remember that?
Okay.
Yeah, and they come out there and chant yes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was the week before that, the one I was at. It was crazy. I remember Stephanie and Triple H come out to start the show and cut a promo. I couldn't hear what she was saying over the speaker system because she was getting booed so loud.
Yeah, Stephanie knows for how annoying her voice may be. She knows how to draw heat. That's for sure.
I like that one night they were chanting CM Punk, and she goes, "If you keep that up for another minute and a half, you'll last longer than CM Punk did in his UFC debut," or something like that.
That was a good one.
She's really good with heat.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of went through most of the stuff, but we kind of backtracked the dude and just talk about any points you want to make in on. So Brock versus Strowman versus Kane, we kind of made mention that is what it was. Do you have anything like noticed good, bad, ugly?
I thought it was pretty good. It was fun. It was, it was what you expected.
It's always
I
low
like
expectations for those, usually.
I had low expectations for it. I like that you knew that Kane was only in there to eat the pin.
Yeah.
But I like that Strowman got right up after the match ended and he was pissed. So that made him look good.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps the belt on Brock, so whatever.
Yeah, because we all know what we're getting at Mania. Brock versus Roman Reigns. That's what we want.
Don't worry about it. We're getting AJ Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania.
Did you realize this
Jason, though, it'd be so much better if they put Braun in there with Brock and Reigns too. I mean, it's a long shot, but that would make such a good Mania to have that triple threat and Nakamura and AJ.
You know what? The way Strowman was talking at the end of that match, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Like I was telling Jason during Raw tonight, he freaking turned over the announcer's table stage beside the ramp, like flipped it over on Kane, like pretty much writing Kane off TV, and he kept saying how he's going to the Elimination Chamber, and he's going to go after Brock after that. Yeah, so he might actually be pushing that way.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm not here yet.
Yeah, because Roman, this will be his 4th main event of Mania in a row.
Yeah.
It is a little long in the tooth.
What? 4 in a row.
It's a little much.
The boos get louder and louder.
And he still gets cheers, but it's getting more like restless. Like people are like, okay, we've kind of got desensitized to seeing him now.
Well, it's like you noticed when they had the whole Shield reunion, he was getting the cheers again almost. Like obviously when he's with the Shield, but even when he was having singles matches and when he won the IC title, they actually a pretty big pop. But then after he kind of got away from the Shield, he's back to being booed every night.
They loved it when Miz got the title off of him. I don't know if he got it back tonight or not, but
the worst thing
he didn't get it.
I like Roman too. I don't hate him, but it's just too much. I don't want to see him go over all the time.
Well, once the fans find out your plans, like when the fans find out that he was Vince's boy, they just kind of ever since then, downhill. Like once they know that you're being pushed for a reason, and they kind of see it coming, it just becomes you don't want to see it plant in front of your eyes because you already see it coming for years now, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's kind of the thing that sucks about having the internet now. You know all these things that are happening. You're knowing ahead of time. Like I remember as a kid growing up watching wrestling, the internet was barely even a thing, and even then, the dirt sheets weren't as much a big thing. And now you know stuff planned out a year in advance because this was
You
literally
see pictures of them walking in the building and like all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, this Brock and Reigns thing has been in talks since Mania last year. They actually said that Brock won this to go on and face Roman next year. I was like, so
I'm kind of sick of Lesnar too. I'm ready for him to go away.
yeah, let him go get his ass kicked in UFC or something. But yeah, it is what it is. But maybe the Braun thing will happen because that's maybe a little twist on it to make it a little bit interesting.
I mean, even if he loses and like somehow Reigns pins Brock, or I just hope Braun don't get pinned in it, but him being in it would make it a whole lot better for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But would they do another? I mean, they've saved Reigns with a triple threat a couple times now.
See, I don't know if they're just gonna make it suffer through it this time. Like, look, this is what I want. You're gonna get it. Wait 6 or 7 months for him to lose it again, then you can have what you want. But
Yeah,
I don't want what happened to Bray Wyatt to happen to Braun, where everybody's behind him and they love him, and then they just treat him like crap and they don't care anymore. They just start
Right.
booing him and like they don't believe him anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
I heard the rumor is now that it's going to be Strowman versus Miz at WrestleMania, which I would love. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, you can.
I can see Miz being real like squirrely and stuff. It'd be a pretty good match.
But I mean, obviously, going for the big championship is better. But if you think about it, excuse me, the Intercontinental belt is pretty much the main belt on Raw now, since Brock's never there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, Braun going for the IC title, at least give him a title for now to hold him over. I almost wonder though, like how would he carry the title?
Probably just wear it on his wrist or something.
Yeah, it's like as long as he's not Roman Reigns, he throws over his shoulder like a backpack. That made me want to like punch him in the face. Like, dude, that's so disrespectful. I was like, you're almost as bad as your cousin that drags it when he walks down in the ring.
Like even Ember Moon, when she came out for the Rumble, I thought she was gonna like throw her belt. She handed it to the referee and everything. Like I thought she was gonna drop it, and she still handed it over like all respectfully.
Yeah, she actually respects the title. Let's see what else. The Bar versus Rollins and Jordan was complete garbage, so we don't even care. The men's Rumble did so Nakamura obviously wins that, which is not surprising.
I called it for weeks.
What's up?
I called it weeks ago.
Yeah.
Nakamura would win.
Yeah, there was some spots where I thought Nakamura wasn't going to win because they were making other guys look better.
They kind of teased it a little bit, yeah. Like they threw in a little, like whole Ziggler thing at 30. Like I said before, I thought maybe because the rumors were he might do something.
Mm-hmm.
Him being 30 was like a big deal. And then he got thrown out within like a minute. So I mean,
Yeah,
he just kind of teased you like each way.
I wouldn't be upset if he left.
No,
I think he should go to Japan or something and just kind of like do his own thing and just anything other than this what they're doing with him now. It just kind of wastes time. It seems like.
Well, I've heard him say that in interviews. Once he's done here, he's done wrestling. I mean, he's in his upper 30s now.
Yeah, you kind of do forget how long he's been there. It is true.
Yeah. I mean, he's been since Spirit Squad days, and it's like almost 15, 17 years ago.
I mean, even short-haired Dolph with like Vicky Guerrero seems like forever ago now. I mean,
Can we talk about how little respect my girl Liv Morgan got in the Women's Royal Rumble?
Have you seen the YouTube videos? They make fun of her accent.
I haven't seen that.
Oh wait, no, Liv Morgan. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Sarah Logan. I get them mixed up because Oregon.
That's awful too, though. The Sarah Logan, like the weird put-on Kentucky thing, and
yeah, like she says to Daniel Bryan, "Have you ever tasted game meat?" But they put like gay, like GAY, and then meat. It's like, yeah. Liv Morgan. She's the I'm guessing they look all the same. Those three women teams.
She's with the Riot Squad, I believe now. It's like her and Ruby Riot and.
Okay, so Liv Morgan's the blonde and or that, yeah. Okay.
You know, Ruby Riot's from Chicago. I saw her at a freelance wrestling show. It's a kind of a big independent federation in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And she wore a mask and she wrestled Joey Ryan. It was awesome.
Yeah, she seems like she can carry her own. I thought she'd be NXT champion at least once, but not the case, I guess.
And then, did you guys hear all this bullshit that Sunny was talking on her Facebook?
No,
I haven't seen that.
I didn't know she had a
Said
Facebook.
something like, remember she was talking about the Almas Gargano match, and you know how Candice LeRae came in and started fighting with whatever Almas is.
Salinas or whatever her name is now. Not
Yeah.
Salinas. I forget what her name is.
Yeah, something like that. But fucking Sunny puts on her Facebook how intergender wrestling is going to be the downfall of the industry, and it's the worst thing that could possibly happen. And then someone comments to her and says, well, you know, Candice LeRae has been known for really good intergender matches.
She had like ones with Kevin Steen / Kevin Owens. I mean, some hard hitting matches where she's like bleeding and like all that stuff.
He was a tag team partner with Joey Ryan forever.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how great her matches were and how she just got signed to NXT, and Sunny goes, yeah, she got signed to developmental because she's too ugly to be signed to the main roster, and she'll never make it.
Nuts. I mean,
she'll never make it. She'll never make it in the WWE unless they buy her some extensive plastic surgery like they did Bayley.
What?
Meanwhile, this fat cunt's getting fucked in the ass for $20
if
on
you go on
video.
Skype, you can pay like $20 to see your butthole.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Man, she's desperate.
When I met her when I was a kid in 1998, I was so nervous to meet her because she was hot, and I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. I was like nervous to go up to her, and like she was signing these like Raw swimsuit magazines. It's her, Animal, and Hulk. And I wouldn't even get the thing from her. Like I was just too nervous. And then the thing, if I was an adult, I knew she was a pill head back then. You could just had like a pocket full of pills, and you could have done anything you wanted. I mean, but as a kid, it was just you didn't know all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, she was at a convention I went to in 2011. I mean, granted, that's 7 years ago now because it was in January. But like, she looked good then. And then what? 4 years later. So
yeah, like
happened?
She's had like 3 or 4 things with her boyfriend. She's had 2 different boyfriends with domestic violence, and I think she starts each one. Like she beats up on the guy, then she gets beat up in return, and then
she's like
go to jail. It's happened more than once.
She's like super racist too, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's real cunty. Like she brags about screwing different wrestlers. Like she brags about screwing Dolph Ziggler, and now Ziggler told her that he had a poster of her on his wall when he was a kid, and like. Just kind of gets off on that kind of stuff.
Well, Dolph got her around. Yeah, she used to like because everybody's saying her sex tape thing. I mean, it wasn't even a sex tape because it was professionally done. Even though she's like, no, I didn't know it was happening or some crap. It was like this is like watching like like your aunt or something because she just looks like some old gross lady that doesn't have any attractive appeal.
Gross.
Yeah, gross. But yeah, let's get off that subject. About to puke. So before that, we had Usos versus Benjamin and Gable. I completely went opposite where I thought it was gonna go. Like I don't
know what they're doing with Benjamin and Gable.
I thought they would win.
I don't know what the point is.
They give them a little push and just like take it away.
Well, to lose 2-0.
Yeah.
And those matches almost always go like 1-1 or something like that. Like almost always to kind of like draw it out. And the fact they just clean swept them like that would just like throw them under the bus in a way.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Usos are talented. Like I'm perfectly fine with them being champions.
I actually like them better now than they did the face paint. I like them better now, but like you said earlier, it's kind of their time to let someone else kind of have it for a little bit before they get kind of too old, having the titles all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're way better now than they used to be. So I'm not mad about them being champions.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. I think they've actually gotten better, now with the new act. At least especially when they were heels, because they have the personality of heels. Even that promo they cut before the match, that was a heel promo, but they're technically the baby faces. So I don't know. It's
and when they had their babyface gimmick with the painted face, they didn't really have a personality. Just come out there and did the Uso chant, and like that was basically it. Like, they didn't have much to them.
I know I like that entrance for like 2 weeks when they do it. Oh, it's kind of cool. It's their heritage, and then I'm like, all right, I'm over it. So, well, I'm hoping now maybe because when they're predicting the Usos now they're gonna or whoever was tag titles goes to they were gonna feud with the Bludgeon Brothers because I don't know I think they're awesome. That's just my opinion. I love
I don't
Luke
like all the
Harper.
squash matches, but I like both of them like as wrestlers.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they got to have squash matches, obviously, to put them over, but I mean, I like to see more from them, but I guess that's what they're teasing.
mm-hmm. So
Luke Harper, I've always been a
and
fan
then-
of him, even in like the indies.
yeah. Well, and those guys, like, especially Harper's up there in age. So it's like, dude, give this guy a break.
I'm upset he doesn't wear the gross wife beater anymore.
There for a little while, he had a little push, remember, with the IC belt, and like he was getting cheers, and when he was single and everything. Now it's like they just kind of reset him all over again. Each time he gets a big push, they just like reset him.
Eric Rowan's a cancer. They need to cut him out. He sucks.
Yeah, there's nothing really special about him. And like I was like, wait a minute, weren't you guys like enemies for a while? Like especially it was like one Survivor series. Like Eric Rowan was all of a sudden on one of the Survivors teams, like for some random reason he's all screaming in his face and stuff. Like, wait.
And they broke up too on the whole like Randy Orton deal, like when that happened.
Maybe if they got back with Bray, I think it makes sense because Bray maybe has that little thing over them with the family and all, but obviously that's not happening. So yeah. And then open the show was AJ Styles versus Owens and Sammy.
That was a good match.
Yeah. I think it was good for an opener. Kind of didn't go too much, like because you think with Styles matches are usually every one of them are very good.
Like I said earlier, didn't overstay its welcome. They didn't book any of the three to look weak. They kind of did it just right, like you said. Owens was on his legs still, so that kind of works the way he rolled him up at the end, and it all just kind of fit together decent.
Yeah. But yeah, so overall, it was a good show. So now it leads into Mania. We obviously are going to probably have Nakamura versus Styles unless they do something dumb there and don't do that, which they would completely be idiots and the like fans would turn completely against whatever that match is. And I'm assuming Asuka versus Bliss.
Well, now they're saying at the beginning of Raw that they're having the first ever women's elimination chamber.
Yeah.
And that she might not even be champion going in to WrestleMania, which I hope they don't do that to her. 'Cause she is good. I mean, she could help with this whole Rousey thing or Asuka, whichever they put her with. I mean, they could really use her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your moneymaker is, I mean, Asuka's perfect for Raw, so I would assume she'd go after the Raw title. I don't know if Rousey's technically just a free agent. Like, is she go on either show or?
Wait, did you say Rousey's going to be in the Elimination Chamber?
No, I was saying like they're saying Alexa Bliss is going to be in it, like the first ever women's chamber match, and she might even be champion going to Mania, is what Stephanie was saying on Raw tonight.
Yeah.
So they don't really know who Asuka could fight yet.
Did they say the other performers, or they just said they're having it?
No, I think they're having like qualifiers, like they're doing for the men's.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have gimmies there. Like you're probably gonna have Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax.
Unless they do Sasha Banks versus Bayley and like Sasha turns full heel. Like in the Rumble, she showed signs of it. Then on Raw tonight, she was kind of babyface again. And then maybe if they like a qualifier with her and Bayley, she could just turn full heel and just like shit can her out of the ring and like just basically almost injure her, beat her up, whatever, get some heat.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. I think Alexa Bliss goes because she's been a good champion, so I think it'd be a legitimate contender versus Asuka. And when Asuka, I'm sure, will win the title. And then Rousey, I wouldn't have her first match be for a title. That's
even me and the dude were saying after the pay-per-view was over, it might have just been Abba. I can't remember who it was. It might have been a couple of us were like, maybe they'll do a thing with all four girls to kind of hide Rousey's inexperience. Yeah. I don't know what they do with the belt because I know they don't want to really have both belts on one brand because like the way they're stretched as it is.
They wouldn't do that.
But I can see them doing something though to kind of hide her inexperience more than just like a one-on-one.
Yeah.
But I like to see out of the two girls, I'd rather see Rousey take on Charlotte than Bliss if it is one-on-one.
Yeah. Well, and I think with Rousey, you need to make her special, make her an attention draw like Brock. Don't have her be on every night, especially because she's learning still. Even though she's being trained by Brian Kendrick for months, they said, she needs to adapt and learn how this business works and how, because just because training in a gymnasium or, abandoned warehouse isn't going to be the
It's a whole
same in
different
front
thing
of
to be in front of
100,000.
a crowd, and she's already nervous as it is, just coming out, like, just making an appearance. She's already like in tears and like
Yeah.
her nerves are super getting to her.
Yeah. Would you see the story about the jacket she wore? It's
Yeah,
Roddy
like
Piper's.
his son flew out that same day just to give it to her.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Yeah, and then I don't know. So in Universal, basically Reigns versus Strowman, or not Strowman, Brock. Yeah,
Which that'll close the show, I'm sure. I think the AJ thing will be like semi-main, unless they
yeah,
do.
open.
They might do AJ Nakamura and then the women's match and then the Universal match. I don't know. I kind of see them sandwiching it somehow.
Mm-hmm. So, like, do you guys think Taker will be at Mania this year?
No.
That Raw 25 promo was. I'm a huge Taker fan. I will admit I'm the fucking big Taker mark from as a kid. That promo was cringy to me. As like he just kind of rambled. He didn't know what he was saying. He's like 25 years. I've dug 25 holes. He just kind of like rambled for 5 minutes and left. And everybody's like, "Well, what the fuck?" Like,
That's a pretty
is
good
this even
Taker.
really Taker? Or was this some guy that escaped an old folks' home and came in the building?
That was a pretty good Taker voice, Pixel.
Thank you. Not as good as my Hulk Hogan's, as Tommy found out.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think he'll fight again.
Yeah.
I like how
Only
Michelle
match you can
McCool's
make.
out there. She got all those Undertaker chants.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Because then Nikki, when she came out, they were chanting Cena sucks.
Yeah. They can't escape it. And then when Brie came out there chanting yes for Daniel Bryan.
Yep. Yeah, Taker, he's been long done. I honestly think his last match still should have been him and Triple H in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's probably his best one. Everything's been kind of sloppier. Like every other match is sloppier and sloppier.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the way they did it with HBK being the ref, and he super kicked him, and then Triple H like pedigreed him. That should have been it. Like,
God,
there's no topping that spot.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made sense. It was the end of the era.
So fucking good. The 2 Triple H matches and the 2 Shawn Michaels matches.
And even though Punk hates their match, I thought that match was really good too. I mean, for what it was, I mean, it was.
Yeah, I like that one.
Better than any of these recent ones.
It was definitely a redemption, yeah, because it was after 20. So he was at 21-0. And then Brock was the year after that, and that was just.
And now he's lost what, twice in a row? Or did he win one and then lose one? Taker?
No, he won 2 in a row after that.
Oh. No, he won one. He lost to Brock and then beat Bray and then lost to.
That's right. Yeah.
No, he had Shane the year after.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's hard to remember all these sometimes.
Yeah, I know he's got like 50 matches, so. I
forgot about that one.
I mean, that wasn't a bad match, but it was just a spot fest. Like, you'd have Shane jump off a roof. I don't know why he does it at 48 years old.
Taker didn't even want that match when I was reading before it even happened. Like, he apparently didn't even want to do it. And then the rumors were that Vince wanted Taker to lose, like, to Shane.
Oh, God.
Because they had this whole thing where Shane won, he'd be general manager, and they did it anyway. They just, shoehorned him in anyway.
Yeah, he's, 28? Or that was at 28. So, yeah, he was like 7 years overdue of retiring and just still keeps coming back. I don't know if it's the paycheck. He's needing the paycheck. He's not being wise of his money.
I don't think he's been like Ric Flair. I think he's been pretty smart. I think I don't see him being a big partier. Like, I don't see him spending like lavish money. And I know he's got the kid, and I think that more than one kid, don't he?
I think he and Michelle McCool have a couple kids.
Yeah.
Man. I know he's got that one that looks just like him, like with the glasses and everything when he was a kid, like the big square face and everything looks just like him. He's got, like you said, the one Michelle McCool or a couple of them. So I don't see him being like frivolous with his money, like just throwing it everywhere and like Flair did and stuff.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think he's like Austin, where he's pretty set. Which I know Austin does all the other stuff too, but I know Austin didn't really go crazy with his money either.
I'm just trying to.
So many got the matches that, you kind of have the dream scenarios. Like, obviously I feel like at least one of those with Nakamura and Styles. Like, what would be one match you guys, other than that one, you'd say you would hope to see? It's maybe a possibility.
I mean, I still just want to see Braun like whoop someone's ass and take someone's title. I'd rather be Brock, but we know it's probably gonna be Reigns. That's not the one I can really think of that's current now that's on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, a dream like entry would be maybe Adam Cole getting called up eventually, but it's not gonna happen between now and Mania, and then him getting like the IC belt somehow if the Miz and Braun thing don't happen.
Mhm.
But I don't see him getting called up that quick, and then being on the whole Intercontinental title thing right before
Who's
Mania with
this?
only what 2 or 3 months to go.
Who's that you said?
Adam Cole.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see him going that route. So
No, he won't go that fast.
I'd like to see, even though they're on separate brands, but Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe
yeah, that'd be a good like back to their TNA days.
for the U.S. title too.
They've had some good matches.
Yeah. Trying to think what else is on here on the roster.
Is
Jeez.
Joe injured? I thought I see somebody being injured or something
Yeah, I still think he's not going to be back by Mania.
because he was on like the little pre-show like commentary thing like up in the booth or whatever they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't do anything else besides that.
Yeah, I thought Hardy would be back, Jeff, at the Rumble match because they said he's been cleared, or at least it's been speculated.
I figured he would have been in there like a little surprise entrant like return.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Finn versus Cena. I think that could be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had, I want to say, I don't know how long ago it was on Raw, but they had some pretty good matches before, and on a bigger scale with more time, they could do a lot more.
Yeah. All right, guys, time to end the show. Harry's in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Be associated with that fucking loser.
I never know the rivalries going on in this community. Like I've had people say, "Oh, that person's here, that person's there," and I'm just like, I'm just neutral. I just do my thing.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's all good.
Harry sucks.
I think the only real feud is like Fears and Yakov, and like Fears and Joy with the numbers. That's only like actual feuds.
Which is funny because I was in like a stream once with Yakov and Joey, and like they were completely cool with me, and just he was like, "Don't talk to them." I was like, "Why?"
He doesn't realize. I tell him the exact ways to stop it every time, and he doesn't do it.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not going to try to help anymore.
Nah, don't burn that energy. So, are you still working on this TV show?
I'm doing a couple different things.
A couple different things. That's cool.
So was Raw was good tonight? Was it was a good one? It was
I mean,
worth
I only seen the first, I guess, hour before this started. And it's like a typical
Yeah.
Raw. I mean, they opened with Stephanie coming out announcing how the Rumble was a success for the women, and Asuka came out, and you thought she was finally going to like pick who she was going to fight, but she like spoke gibberish too in a way. She spoke Japanese for like a minute. Then she pointed at the sign, and then Stephanie says, "Yeah, I know what that means. Like, I know what that is." And then before she could even say she was going to fight, Sasha came out there and interrupted her. Now they're going to fight tonight.
There you go.
And
That
they
should
both
be
got the same shade of purple. I mean, I think they go to the same stylist or like had the same material, but it's the exact same shade of purple.
So Miz retained. He beat Reigns with a roll up, with Axel and Dallas distracting him.
What, tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to decide if I want to watch Raw live or watch The Bachelor live.
Oh man, tough choice.
Who are they going to give the rose?
I don't know. They're both. I'm telling you, if you guys aren't watching The Bachelor, you're missing out. If
I've
you
heard
like
good things. I just don't really watch much TV wise, but I've heard it's actually pretty good.
if you like cringe content, it's the gold mine.
It's so
I sit for the majority of the show. I sit like curled up in a ball because I can't like take the cringe. It's like the classic. It's like if you took a wet movie video, a Cool Duder video, a Tommy video, got a cringe video, and rolled them all into one, and just like threw it on TV. It's amazing.
I might have to. Well, is it just started or is it?
It's like
in?
5 weeks in, I think.
No, I don't think it would matter anyways.
It doesn't
I'm sure
matter.
there's like some YouTube compilations for some of them. I'm sure.
Well, Dancing with the Stars is over, so I don't really have much to watch on TV. So
Horrible Harry's just talking shit in the chat.
he's a little bit of a shit talker.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Well, I'm actually going to take off. I've been outside, and it is a little cold.
Oh, I bet.
But I do appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun. We'll have to do this
Thanks for
again for
coming.
another
Remember,
pay-per-view.
you're contractually obligated to be on my channel only. So
Yeah, we have to might get it extended depending on what Fears offer.
I'm gonna stay freelance for a little bit, but I'm also gonna take off.
yeah. Thanks for coming on, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here anyway.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right, boys.
Take it easy.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Recap of Royal Rumble 2018. Maybe we'll try to do this for another pay-per-view. We'll take a shot and we'll see if I can get them to come back on. Because I think it's good to have kind of other people discuss this stuff. I'm gonna kind of go back to the chat here and kind of wrap it up. By the way, I didn't plug it. I'll plug it once here and I'll plug it before I end the show. Tomorrow, 6:30 Arizona time, so 8:30 Eastern time, I will be having the MMA holes, the wonderful MMA holes live for an interview. So be sure to tune in for that. If you guys want to make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So then you know when the interview is up. Like I said, it will be at roughly exactly around 6:30 Arizona, 8:30 Eastern time. I saw Fears was in here for a bit. Fears, if you're still watching, thanks for hanging around, coming in, watching. Matt, same to you. Shout out to Matt Man. Abba Zaba was here. He's talking wrestling. So if I miss any of the chat, guys, I'm kind of just trying to converse with them on the subject matter. So really, you couldn't read the chat and then get involved in this too. But Horrible Harry saying some very generous, nice things about the dude, and yeah, then the dude responds with "F you, Harry." So that must. I should have like an intervention stream with you two on, and we can just have a little discussion. Let's see how that would go. Just like I want to have Fears and Yakov in the same room together. That'd be interesting. Or Fears and Carrie. That'd be an interesting stream. Excuse me. Fears says, I take your advice all the time, dude. I have gotten better. I just joke around all the time now, and it has gotten a lot better. Just saying, but whatever. It's cool. Been watching the time, Jason. It was a good show. Well, thanks, Fears. So yeah, guys. So once again, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Like I said again, tomorrow night, tune in for 6:30, 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific to check out the live stream between me and the wonderful MMA holes. Pixel Protocol says thanks for having me on. Thanks for coming on, Pixel. I know you're not much, but you're not on stream. So I'm saying thanks for the dude for coming on. Those guys aren't usually on streams very often. So I think a lot for you guys coming on. I appreciate it. We're going to wrap this up. But again, thanks for watching, everybody, and coming on the show. Until then, live stream tomorrow at 6:30. New video will be up tomorrow too. So tune in for a new adventure video coming up on the channel. Until next time, guys, my name is Jason. Crush the cash.